I finally finished the Caraval trilogy. I can't believe I actually did it. I really didn't think I was going to pick up the second book, to be honest, but let's get into it. First and foremost, I was not a fan of Caraval. I read this a while ago and I had absolutely zero urge to pick up the rest of the series. However, my friend and I really wanted to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I've heard that you need to read that after Caraval if you want the best reading experience. So we were like, yep, we're going to finish it. So in about a week or a week and a half, I ended up reading the last two, which I honestly never thought I would do. And hear me out. So many people said if you didn't like Caraval, you're not going to like the rest of the series. Just give up on it, basically. Don't listen to them. Legendary was so good. I sped through this book. This was my favorite book of the whole series. I much preferred Donatella as an FMC, as a character in general. I much preferred Dante and Jax as characters as well. There was just something about their story that was a lot more interesting, in my opinion, than Scarlet and where she was going with everything. This for me was, I'm pretty sure, 4.5. I think it was 4 stars. Then we get to finale. This was my second favorite. I didn't enjoy this as much as the second book, but it was still really good. I do feel though that the ending of this series was rushed. I feel like we read 3 books of build up and like just crazy things happening and we've got no answers and there's just so much happening and you're just expecting this massive ending because of all the build up. But then the ending, I felt like it just happened in a snap of your fingers and it was done. So whilst I didn't really want finale to be any longer than it already was, I do feel like the ending needed a bit more time to be fleshed out. However, I will say, all in all, you know what? This series was not actually that bad. I really liked the rest of the series. Caraval let me down. It wasn't the best opener to a series, but I ended up really enjoying myself and being really glad that I did read this, especially considering I think I know what Once Upon a Broken Heart's gonna be about. What I'm trying to say here is if you read Caraval and you didn't like it, maybe just try Legendary. And I know so many people say not to worry, but I actually ended up really loving the series by the end. And if you're putting off Caraval because you're worried about it, I'm not gonna say bump it up your TBR, but I will say you may actually enjoy it because I really had the lowest of hopes and it ended up being really good. This is probably a really good series for someone who's just getting into reading or fantasy because I feel like it is very fun and whimsical and very interesting because it's different to anything that is really out at the moment, or at least anything I've read. And it's super fast paced, and that's not necessarily a great thing all the time. I will say some of it was so fast paced that I didn't really know what was happening and I was forgetting things and getting confused, but for the most part, this was really fun and I'm glad I read it.